All right, welcome to our morning Zoom. I appreciate everyone hopping on who's on here live, but if you're watching this on a replay, we appreciate you too. I'm going to try to pack as much power into this 30 minutes or less as I possibly can this morning. I'm going to share a little bit about a miracle morning, and I am going to share and update you and spill the tea. There's really not that much to spill, that secret about our adventure in Vegas last week. If you don't know, we do push these out onto our YouTube channels. We are making some adjustments between Sydney and myself and where these go out to. We also publish them into our Hustle and Slay Extreme Entrepreneurs page. It goes into our app. If you have not downloaded our app yet, if someone can throw that link to that page into the comments, I'd greatly appreciate it. The app is free. You can watch all of our replays right there inside of the app. We also have our 21-day challenges that load into the app. Those are a pay-to-play scenario, but they are only $21 a month for every challenge that you decide to participate in. And last month we did one all on your business basics, and I have gotten so much feedback from you guys, the people who are participating in that and messaging me. It was our first month launching the app. So we had some hiccups, and I've been so appreciative of all the people who reach out and let me know when something isn't working or something's just, there's a snag or a snafu in something, and we will get better and better and better as the months go on. So I appreciate all of you guys for being our guinea pigs and testing that out with us. So we had some really great feedback on what people were accomplishing for last month. And I only know that because people reach out to me and ask more questions or need a little bit more like digging in, and I'm happy to do that. This month, Sydney launched her TikTok takeover challenge, which I am so thrilled with the timing of this. I can't even tell you guys. At the end of this morning, I'm going to share with you a couple of tips that I learned from the content king himself, Mike Draper, while we were in Vegas. So stick around because I'm going to share a few tips that maybe Sydney doesn't even know. Just kidding. She knows everything on TikTok. But I'm going to share some tips with all of you guys. And Sydney, I did literally grab that shirt from the top of my closet today and almost put it on. And I was like, nope, what if Sid wears it? I'm going to put on this flannel. I am not kidding. That is the exact one, not the burgundy one. It was that one. We almost were twins again today, and I almost wish I would have done it because it would have made it even more funny that we constantly dress alike. Okay, let's start off by talking about your miracle morning. Okay, first of all, I am not a morning person. Let's just get that out of the way. I'm not. I never have been. I probably never will be. I love sleep. Let's just be honest. I like my bed. I have a sleep number. It's very comfortable. I can adjust the settings, and I could work from my bed. Most of you know this that hang out around me or go on trips with me. I could work from my bed for the first 5 hours of every day and it not faze me whatsoever. It is probably one of my favorite things to do. We can all create our own type of miracle morning, however we want that. Do you know what a miracle morning is? One where you are happy and doing the things that you love, and the rest of your day goes exactly how you want it to because you started off your day exactly like you wanted it to. Now, there can be some people who wake up on any morning of the week and grab their phone and start checking on things that do not bring them joy, or look at my husband's not on here, but if he watches this on replay, he can slap me around later. He loves to log into his bank account and credit card statements first thing in the morning while still laying in bed. And it makes me want to choke him because it ruins my miracle morning when he then turns to me and asks me about all of the charges that he is finding on different things on our finances. And then I find myself explaining myself and frustrated and angry at him. That is not how you start off your miracle morning. Okay. Let's just go with that. That's not how you do it. That is not what I'm teaching. There's a lot of people out there that will say grabbing your phone first thing in the morning is not what you want to do, because you start answering to what other people need from you rather than you focusing on you. Now, maybe I will come back in like 3 years when I get smarter and I grow up a little bit and tell you that I am wrong. But personally, I enjoy grabbing my phone first thing in the morning. It brings me joy. So I'm going to continue doing that. Now, For some of you, like Ken, who probably needs to take his phone and throw it in his car so that he doesn't get on it before he gets up for the day, then you should follow that advice. I will keep doing what works for me, and you will keep doing what works for you. If you find yourself frustrated in the morning, maybe changing up your routine would be a good thing. So I have preached this book, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, for probably 5 years. I actually hired him to be an opening speaker on our stage at Top Summit. That would be 2020. Yes, Naples 2020. I'm like, does anybody feel the same way that pandemic, I'm not even going to use the C word, but that pandemic, does anybody feel like there was this block of a couple years that you cannot seem to remember what happened in what year? Was it 2019? Was it 2020? Or was it 2021? 22, maybe it's because it's so recent, I can still figure that one out. But all the things that happened in those like 3-year time span, I'm like, was that 2019 or 20 or 21? How do you confuse 3 whole solid years that really just happened? So or it's just that they were all one long year, like January was 74 days, right? And then we finally hit February, and it is cooking already. We are already at February 6th. How did January take so long? Maybe we weren't Miracle Morning it every day. I don't know. Okay, so I had Hal Elrod speak on our stage. He has an incredible story. If you have not read his book, if you have not listened to it on Audible, I highly, highly recommend that you do. He has another book. I'm drawing a blank to the title. I don't even want to say even better, because starting off with his Miracle Morning is what you need to start with. You don't want to start with his second book. The second book is incredible. And when I come up with the title of it, it's usually sitting out on my bookshelf very close because I love it so much. The Miracle Equation. If you've not read The Miracle Equation, you really need to. So in his Miracle Morning book, he spells out how he does his Miracle Morning, and you can follow that. I will share that with you in just a moment, but I want to ask you guys some questions. Who's ready to participate with me this morning in the chat? Look at how many bases we have on this morning. This is incredible. I love this. Can we have this every Monday and Wednesday for Sid? I love all the faces today. It's outstanding. If you're watching this on replay or listening to it on our podcast, I'm so sorry that you may not be able to see all the smiling faces, but I can. And it makes my Miracle Morning even more miraculous. Okay. All right. I want some participation. How many of you hit snooze in the morning? Now, I know I have a bunch of thrivers on here, and you can all act like you're perfect with your mornings, but I really want to know if you hit snooze still. Honesty is the best policy. You can't pretend to be somebody who you are not. All right, we have a bunch of non-snoozers here. No, I don't have an alarm. Sure, what time do you wake up? How do you do that? I want your Miracle Morning process. Okay, so snooze. Let me tell you about this morning. I rarely hit the snooze button because I know that it's not good for me. It is a proven scientific fact how bad it is for you. I actually had this little thing going with Sydney that I was going to start getting up at 5 or like between 5 and 5:30 each morning so that I could have some quiet time before I headed down to the gym. And travel just really screws up, especially when you go into a time zone of 3 hours. I'm making up excuses right now. I'm just telling you that this morning, I literally reset my alarm for an hour later. Luke had the flu over the weekend. He's finally back up and running this morning, but I felt like when I woke up this morning, I was going to be pushing my immune system if I did not get that extra hour of sleep, because it took me like 4 hours to fall asleep last night. That travel just screws me up. So snooze is not something I generally do, but I did it this morning, and it does affect you. It makes you more tired. It does not start off the day with a winning attitude. You know what snooze says? I quit. In the first 10 seconds of your day, I quit. I negotiated with myself and I quit. That is what it says. So anytime you feel like hitting the snooze button again, I want you to think, am I really quitting on myself already? I haven't even gotten 10 seconds into my day. Am I quitting? Okay, next question. How many of you that don't hit snooze drink water? And I don't mean just a sip to take your capsules. I mean, how many of you drink like a full half to full bottle of water, glass of water, first thing when you wake up? You heard it's not good for your heart. There would be one in every crowd. I am not a heart doctor. I will refuse to combat that one. However, I do know what drinking a whole glass of water does for me first thing in the morning. Is it something about not brushing your teeth first? There's all this like gook in your mouth. You're washing all of that back down. Okay, let's do it in a different order for Kristen. We're going to go to the next question. How many of you guys go rinse out your mouth and brush your teeth first thing in the morning? And I know if you all say yes, you're lying, because there are so many of you who tell me that you get busy working and then you realize it's lunchtime and you still haven't brushed your teeth. Sydney's laughing. I like it. I have to be honest right now. Morning Zooms that you don't have to be in front of people cause distraction when it comes to teeth brushing. No. Okay, so listen. Would it make sense first thing in the morning to hop out of bed, go brush your teeth, rinse your mouth out, and then drink a whole glass of water? Do you think that would make a difference in how you operate in the morning? Okay, so here's the deal. How you do small things is how you will do all things. Why do we find those two things, those three things are so small, yet most of us, I won't talk about the snooze button, it's just because of the crowd that's on here. I know all you do. I know what you do to wake up in the morning. But all the small things, next question. Do you make your bed every morning? And I mean morning, I don't mean at noon or at 4 o'clock right before the husband or the wife comes home. Look at all those bed makers. Nope. Kelly Hawkins says, nope, I have a sleep number. It's hard enough to get out of it, let alone make it. I love it. Ashley, you're running around after too many kids. I'll give you an excuse for the bed making. Okay, so how you do small things is how you will do all things. So when we're talking about our day and creating a miracle morning, those things I'm listing off are extremely valuable in how the rest of your day goes. Now, I work from home. Not everybody works from home. And where my office is right now, like it's going to move. Where my office is right across the hall from my bedroom. Also right at the front of the house. So my office and my bedroom, if you're coming through my front door, are the two first things that you see. They are also the two messiest parts of my entire house sometimes. So if I don't make my bed first thing in the morning, first of all, when I make my bed first thing in the morning, the doodles just mess it up anyways, because they thoroughly enjoy believing that that bed is their playpen and their bed for the rest of the day. Hi, Bentley. Speaking of doodles. So if I have to make my bed first thing in the morning, or I walk by it 30 million times a day, when I head to the bathroom or when I head to the kitchen or do anything, I walk out of the office and stare straight at my bed. So if I don't make my bed in the morning, what do you think that does to my mindset? It's messy. It's just like opening your eyes and in the first 10 seconds saying, I quit because you hit snooze. It's the same thing every time I walk out of my office. I look at that bed and go, I was lazy. I was lazy. I was lazy. I was lazy. Do you think that's setting me up for a great day? Absolutely not. How you do small things is how you do all things. So all of those little tiny things are small. Not hitting snooze, not drinking water first thing in the morning, not brushing your teeth, throwing some water on your face, not making your bed. Those are all really small things. Can we agree that those are small things? But I would say that 95% of us get it wrong, or at least a few of those wrong first thing in the morning to set up the rest of our day. I know they seem small, but it honestly, when you don't operate with the small things in the right way, the big things are It is a proven fact. How you do small things is how you will do all things. You will cut corners. You will skip things. You will not do things that you know are good for you. I can't go into work to a messy desk, makes my day crazy. Right. So she's figured out that probably on the day that she leaves work, the evening, the afternoon that she's getting ready to leave work, before she goes, she cleans up her desk, I'll bet. Because she knows that if she walks into a messy desk in the morning, it's going to make her crazy. Okay, I think that, oh no, the most powerful one that literally takes me 10 minutes or less every single morning. Do you write down and practice gratitude every single morning? If you're a Danelle Delgado follower, I will almost guarantee that you do. If you don't, you are not following what your mentor has told you to do. Most of the time. I'll go with that, Jill. There's a few mornings that things get a little hectic or out of control, and I end up writing it down later. But most of the time it's first thing in the morning. And you know why I post it in my stories every morning? To hold myself accountable. Literally. I know how my day goes when I write gratitude first thing in the morning, and I know how it goes when I don't. Okay, I am going to give you just really quick Hal Elrod's Savers method. Okay, and you can literally go Google this and you'll have 102 million graphics come up that spell it out. But Savers is just an acronym for silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, scribing. Basically, silence is be quiet, be still, meditate, or pray, something to still the mind. Affirmations is tell yourself encouraging words to achieve your goals, overcome fears, and feel happy. Visualization, imagine yourself doing each thing you need to do for the day and imagine what it feels like to succeed by the end of that day. Exercise, go for a walk, go or a jog, get moving. It allows the blood and the oxygen to flow to the brain. I will say I work out for my brain more than why can't I talk this morning? Is it because it's Monday or lack of good rest last night? Reading, fill your brain with positive thoughts and ideas to improve yourself. Always, always, always getting in at least 10 pages or 20 minutes of personal development. Scribing, write in a journal to process your thoughts and reflect on what you achieved. I'll say scribing helped me big time on this retreat that I was on this past week. One of the days we ended and I walked in there so excited and an open brain to learn. And then I walked out of there so overwhelmed. I was like, I'm not even going to be able to sleep tonight. I feel extremely overwhelmed by all of that was just crammed in my head. And so I knew before I even went to dinner that night, I needed to go back to my room and dump into my notebook all of the things that were floating in my head. And man, within like 25 minutes, I felt so much better about everything that I had learned that day, because journaling is super important. So if you could do that first thing in the morning, I also think at the end of the day, if you can dump into a journal of some sort and make a to-do list for the following day, it's so much easier to rest and go to sleep. You would think that would have helped me last night, but it didn't. I tossed and turned for 4 hours with my brain going. Maybe it's because I worked all weekend and did not allow for some rest. We do need to allow for some rest. Okay, so that's the Hal Elrod way. If you do not have a miracle morning process for yourself, I highly recommend going and doing a little bit of research on that. You don't need to do a ton. Ask yourself the question, what makes my morning go good? What do I do? What habits can I break that I've done in the past that makes my day just head off in the wrong direction? And then make your routine. Then stick to it. Try it for the next 21 days. 21 days to create a habit, hence our 21-day challenges that we do. So 21 days, I want you to create your miracle morning, whether it's 3 steps, 4 steps, 7 steps, 10 steps, whatever works for you, whatever creates your miracle morning so that you have a great grand day. And then I want you to practice that for 21 solid days, and feel free to weigh in and let me know how it's going. See if your day is going even better than before. All right, I want to give you a few updates from my trip to Las Vegas. Did we do any gambling? Yes. Did we win? No. That's it, the end. Just kidding. Some people won. One was not me. We tried up until the very last minute when we were going to the airport. We almost thought about gambling in the airport too, since they have slot machines there, but we decided against it. I hate losing money. Okay. So if you don't know, I have signed up to do Danelle's mastermind for this entire next year. In that entire next year, there are 3 in-person masterminds. One was just this last week in Vegas. We went from Monday through Friday. We did a lot of training, intense training on creating what we want this next year to look like for us. And then she's also partnered up with Mike Draper. I call him the content king because he has absolutely crushed it on TikTok and has hacked how you create, how you master it, and how you monetize on it, which I believe not very many people have figured that piece out. They have created great videos. They can go on there and create great followings, blah, 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 which is what has annoyed me about that platform for so long. No one has figured out how to take that and monetize on it in the appropriate way for me to follow. Okay, so I'll just say that. I'm not saying that no one monetizes for it. I just don't believe I have heard the type of training that we got this past weekend and that we will continue to work on for this next year. So great timing. Go get some of the basics and get going on with Sydney and her 21-day challenge in our app. It will at least get you launched and headed in the right direction. She's got some really valuable information in there, and it sets you on a 21-day path to get it done, right? Because half the battle is just getting started and getting it done. But I want to share a couple of tips that she may or may not have in her training because I have not gone through the whole thing. But these are some things that I really took from Mike this last weekend or last week. See, I still think I was there on the weekend and I wasn't, that I really, really liked. So first of all, in the very beginning of your videos is about building and keeping suspense. Building and keeping suspense. If you're just creating to create and throwing it out there because it's a habit and it's habitual and you're just doing it and you're not building and creating and keeping that suspense going through however long your video is, don't bother. And the reason why you need to do this is because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in this order. Write this down. 5 things in this order that keep your video being shown to more people. Okay. So hack the algorithm by building, creating, and keeping suspense, because these 5 things are what they pay attention to show your video to more people. Number 1, watch time. If you can get somebody to watch your video all the way to the end, it goes in batches. They're going to throw it out. And the first batch of people who watch it, if they watch to the end, you're going to go to the second batch, and then you're going to go to the third batch, and then you're going to 4, all based on how long someone watches your video. If people are watching for the first 2 seconds and clicking off of it, it's a waste. So you have to build and keep suspense through your video. Number 2, saves. So watch time, then saves. This is the order. Watch time, then saves, then shares. People who share your video. Number 5 is comments. I'm sorry, number 4 is comments. And the last one is likes, loves, whatever you want to call that little heart thing that people click on. Now, we learned way more than that in this training. And I will tell you that there is a way you can participate in some of Mike's training, but you have to come and play with me in October. Okay, the other thing is, okay, so when you're creating, you always want to be thinking about, how do I get them to watch till the end? How do I get them to save it? And how do I get them to share it with others? So when you're creating, don't create just to create. Create with those 3 things in mind. If you're creating just to create, you're wasting your time. Always, always, always have a call to action in your spoken words or words on the screen, not just in the comments that you're putting in your post. Okay. Always have a call to action or you're wasting your time. Ask them to do something. Save it, share it, like it, go to a link, any of those things. Ask them to do something. If you're creating just to create, you're wasting your time. I'm sure Sydney has covered all of these things in her 21-day training, but there is from the Content King himself. Okay, so I really, really, really loved his training. If you did not know, you can sign up to go to a retreat that I'm hosting him at in Michigan in October. That will sell out. It will be full. We are filling a retreat house. Come get a whole room for you and your team. Come by yourself, come with a friend. The information is pinned to the very top of my Facebook page. You can go to the website and check out all the details. The first thing people ask is, how much does it cost? It's under the frequently asked questions at the very bottom of the page. Just go look. He will be there for the entire time. So will Danelle. So what did we work on with Danelle? I'm going to go like maybe 1 or 2 minutes over so I can share that with you. I want you guys to ask yourself this. This is what I'm going to be working on for the next 90 days. She goes in 90-day runs. It's how she does everything. So I want you guys to, you wrote your goals down for the year. I'm assuming you did. If you didn't, we have bigger problems. Okay. I'm assuming you have some goals for this year. I'm assuming that one of them is monetary. Okay. So I want you to write that number down again right now. What are you looking to do in revenue by the end of this year? Whether it's in your network marketing business, your personal business, your something new you want to launch. What are you looking to do monetarily this year? These are things that we did at the training. It was a number. Pick the number. If you haven't already picked the number and you didn't already know the number, I would say you probably needed more than 74 days in January because you did not do what you were supposed to in January. It's all about setting goals. Okay, so what is your monetary goal? What is the increase or additional or just overall number that you want to earn this coming year? Okay. Now that you have that number in your head or written down, what are you doing about it? I want you to write down 5 things that you are doing about it. What is your plan? What are you doing to create those numbers? Break it down. Figure out what you need to do in order to create that type of revenue, income, goal, whatever it is. Then what? Are you going to employ to learn how to do it? Stay accountable to it. Train on different things that you need help with to create a bigger audience. What are you doing to get to that goal? What have you committed to? What are you staying accountable to? A lot of you that show up here live on Monday mornings, hats off to you. I know that you're really trying, but we don't want Zoom zombies. We want people who are actually working towards that goal, those goals. Okay. So we really worked on our plan on how we're getting there. And it started off with a 90-day run and some massive commitments on our part. If you want people to run with, go surround yourself with people who are running. If you're like, I can't afford to do that. Well, you can't afford not to. That's what I'm going to tell you. You can't afford not to. Jill got to go and be a part of that mastermind. She decided that she couldn't afford not to. Jill, you can unmute for just a second and tell me, I didn't even ask you this yet, so this is completely candid. Was this last week worth it for you, knowing how much money you spent to do this?
Yes. I have 2 words, life-changing.
Thank you. Life-changing. Now, you might not be part of, yes, I will pitch this because I know what it will do for you. I asked Danelle and Mike very specifically. I could have done this mastermind in October all by myself, made it less expensive, trained you on everything that I know, filled the house with people that want to learn more. I specifically wanted to share them with you guys. I begged and pleaded. They do not just do that. Yes, they are expensive, but I'm bringing them to Michigan in October. You can't afford not to do it. It is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you look at the price and don't like it, tell me what you're going to do that's going to move you just as far on your own without spending any money. It will cost you not to do it. That is my strongest push and belief on what I believe people in business need. Stop taking all of this online coaching that's not doing you any good. Work with people who work with you, work with people who run side by side with you, and surround your people in a mastermind with people who are winning. If you're sitting there on your own thinking you can do it by yourself because you can plug in on Mondays and Wednesday mornings, it's not enough. If you have been doing that for a year or more and you are not moving in the direction that you want to move, change something. Stop being a tree because you're not one. Go do something, move. Okay. I really, really, really appreciate all of you guys for hopping on here and being with us live. Figure out how to engage in some more groups of people who are going out and winning at life, in business, in personal development, all of the things. Life-changing, Jill, for last week, I have been in working with Danelle for 5 years. Why do I keep going back? Because I keep leveling up. Okay. I keep going back because I keep leveling up. That 5 days spent in Vegas was life-changing once again for me. Life-changing. Okay. I really, really, really hope you guys have the most amazing week going forward. Get your miracle morning set up. Feel free to share it in the Hustle and Slay Extreme Entrepreneurs page. We will see you back here on Wednesday morning for some social media tips, tricks, advice, training from Sydney. I hope you guys have a beautiful week.